Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jude from www.jumpropevet.com. Thank you for coming back and tuning into another tutorial. Today, we're going to be going over a move called the running crossover. The running crossover is simply a combination of two moves. The first is the alternate foot jump or the run skip, and the second is the basic crossover with the basic bounce. That's all this move is, just a combination of those two moves. And if you don't know those two moves, what I'd recommend is you going over and clicking on the tutorials that I have for those moves and learning those moves first before you try to attempt the running crossover. It's going to be kind of difficult to learn the running crossover if you don't know those two moves first. So the benefits of the running crossover is anytime you do a move that involves crossing and uncrossing, you're going to increase your coordination, but you're also going to develop and strengthen your shoulder muscles. So that is one good thing about the crossover, is this motion is very beneficial for building strength and building endurance. And the second thing is the coordination piece. It really helps with coordination, and as with every other jump rope move, it's going to help with cardio as well. So before we get into the video, if you could, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon below so you can stay tuned to the channel and get updated when we release new tutorials on intermittent fasting, jump rope, and anything associated with health, wellness, jump rope. All right. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into the video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over the running crossover. Here's a quick example of what the running crossover should look like. Like I said before, it's a combination of two moves. It's the alternate foot step where you're just running in place, and it's a crossover. That's all it is. Here are 5 things that really helped me learn this move. The first thing that you want to focus on is to, when you do your stepping, your alternate stepping, step a little bit higher than you would on a regular run skip or alternate foot step, because you're going to be concentrating on doing those crossovers. Once you can get the move down a little bit more, then you can focus on stepping up a little bit less than before, but focus on stepping a little bit higher, kind of like a high knee. The second thing you want to do is you don't want to wave your arms about. You want to use your wrists more. So use your wrists. Focus on rotating your wrists. One thing that worked for me is using my right hand in front of my left hand every time. So that's my dominant hand. My right hand is my dominant hand. So that really worked for me for some reason. Now you might be more comfortable with using your offhand in front, but I like to put my dominant hand in front. And there's really no right or wrong, the dominant hand or the offhand. What I would encourage you to do when you're learning this move is to try both and see which one works, but to use one, because if you keep switching back and forth, it's going to slow you down and make the move a little bit harder to execute. Another thing you should definitely focus on when you learn this move is to bend or lean slightly forward at the torso. If you've seen the double under cross tutorial that I did, you can see what I'm doing when I cross over and then uncross. If you bend over a little bit, it helps to clear the rope and it helps that crossing motion. So focus on bending over just a little bit, and then as you uncross, bending back into a straight body position. Number 5 is probably the most important piece of this move. If you see me in the video, you see that my arms are controlled at all times, and that most of the rope's rotation is coming from the use of my wrists. You see my arms are moving, but they're just moving across my body and back to the side of my body. They're not flailing or waving about. So if you lose control of your arms and you use your arms to complete this motion rather than your wrists, then you are going to lose control of the rope and you're not going to be able to execute this move. So keep your arms close to your sides when you bring them back and you execute the crossing motion. This is the most important piece of this move. All right, we're going to transition over to comparing what the move looks like with a short handled rope and a long handled rope. So this is me performing the move with a short handled rope. Now, if you remember from previous tutorials, you'll know that the short handled rope has a little bit more weight on it, which makes it easier to understand where the rope is. The only drawback is that if the rope is heavier, it's going to take a lot more effort to cross and uncross and clear the rope every time. But I always recommend that once you start learning a move that you try it with a short handled rope first so you can get a feel for it, so that you understand where the rope is. So now that we've seen the short handled rope, we're going to move over to the long handle. Now, this is me doing the move with a long handled rope. You'll see that it's a little bit easier for me to turn this rope just because it weighs less, and the long handles help me manipulate the rope a little bit better. So let's get into the tutorial and see how we can get this move down and master this move. The first thing that you want to focus on here, going off of the keys to success, is to match the height of your steps with the speed that you're turning the rope with. So in the beginning, you're probably going to want to step higher because you're not going to be as familiar with the move. But these two things should be in relation with one another. The height of your step has to be in proportion with your speed. The second thing that you want to focus on is using your wrists and keeping your arms close to your body. If your arms get far away from your body and they get out of control, it's going to be very, very difficult to execute this move because it's going to take extra time for you to cross and uncross the rope. If you keep your hands close to you, then it's going to be a lot easier to keep them controlled. So keep your arms close to your body, use your wrists. The third thing that you want to focus on here is finding out which arm you want to place in front and which arm you want to place in back. Like I said earlier, for me, it's my right hand, my dominant hand. Some people like using their offhand. That's fine, but my recommendation is to pick one and not switch back and forth. So as you can see, my right hand is in front the entire time. I'm not switching from right to left, but that's just my recommendation. If you want to do that, switch back and forth, go for it. Now, as with every other crossover move or crossover variation, you want to make sure that you have enough room to get through the rope. So you don't want to swing your arms too far, but you need to swing them far enough to get through the rope every single time. All right, we're going to go through a quick recap of the keys to success. The first thing you want to do with this move is you want to step a little bit higher than you normally would on a regular run skip where you're not crossing until you get comfortable enough with the crossing motion to lessen your step height. The second thing you want to focus on is using your wrists to turn that rope rather than flailing your arms around. Use those wrists to turn that rope back and forth. The third thing that I recommend that really helped me is putting my dominant hand, which is my right hand, in front every time. That helped me to get this move and execute this move at a high speed. The fourth thing, remember, is to lean slightly forward when you cross and then lean back a little bit when you uncross. This is going to help that crossing motion. And then the fifth and most important thing is keep control of those arms. Do not swing those arms wildly or you're going to get out of control. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned something that can add value to your workouts, to your jump rope skills, and to your overall life in general. If you hadn't had a chance yet, please hit that subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon so you can get notified anytime we release a new tutorial. Head over to jumpropevet.com, join the mailing list so you can get one new post every week. A post centered around jump rope, healthy living, and life optimizing techniques. All right, until next time, until next week, I'll see everybody later. Have a good one.